not that I don't want you here. It's something about the way you.
Hey guys, Erica Yolanda here, and I am back with another video. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for watching my page. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. Guys, today we in the kitchen, and it's Sunday. Happy Sunday, let me say this. You know, I usually do all my cooking on Saturdays. However, Saturday wasn't a day for me, so we're gonna do this on a Sunday. And today we are cooking collard greens with smoked turkey, honey roasted teriyaki chicken, which we're gonna cook that in the oven. It's gonna be baked chicken with honey teriyaki sauce. And we are going to do some white rice, and we're probably gonna throw some cornbread in it because we are doing collard greens, and what are collard greens without some cornbread? So that's what we're doing today. I got my greens already cut up and washed. They're just waiting on the meat to be done, which I have my meat right here. And this is, whenever I tell people that I don't eat pork, they kind of give me a sad face, like, no, smoked turkey, okay? You see that? You see that? You see that? Smoked turkey. Smoked turkey is life. Even if I did eat pork, I would probably still put smoked turkey in all of my beans and greens, okay? Because it is delicious. The taste that comes off with some smoked turkey, immaculate. And I also have a sweet Vidalia onion cut up that's gonna go in the greens as well. So we are gonna go ahead and get the smoked turkey. I got the water boiling, so we're just gonna go ahead and put those in there. All right, and we're gonna let that cook for probably about an hour to 10 before our greens is ready to go in. However, I'm just gonna show y'all my greens real quick. Over here. Show y'all these greens. This is how I cut them up. I washed them with some water and vinegar and a little bit of salt, and then I just put them to the side. Put them over there, okay? Now, I have an extra piece of smoked turkey leg. And what I'm gonna do with that big boy, got my aluminum foil right here. I'll take him, wrap him up, and I'm gonna put him in the oven to roast. And he's gonna get eaten by himself, okay? I'm gonna refoil him again because my aluminum foil, I did get it from the Dollar Tree. So I just wanna make sure that everything is good. My oven is preheated. And we're gonna go ahead and put him in there. Now the seasonings that we will be using today, I got my salt out because it's gonna go in my rice. I got my all-purpose, my Morton's season oil. Where would I be without my Maggie's chicken seasoning? Got some garlic powder and my McCormick black pepper. And I went to Wawa's and got me an iced coffee. I'm gonna need that to get me through the day. So let me show you the marinade for the chicken. For the chicken marinade, we are using Lawry's honey teriyaki, which I had the chicken actually marinating all night. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ready to put in the pan. Okay, so I put a little bit of olive oil in my pan that I'm gonna cook the chicken in. That way it doesn't stick real good because I'm out of my my pan non-stick and spray. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom of this pan so that the chicken does not stick. And I had this chicken marinating overnight in the Lawry's teriyaki, sweet teriyaki sauce. And what I did was I went in with some garlic paste rather, and some black pepper. And that is the only seasoning that I did use on this. I did put in an onion with it, so it can be kind of like a sweet onion teriyaki taste. So I did cut up an onion in it. And I cleaned my chicken last night. And again, if y'all ain't washing y'all chicken, what are y'all doing? Because chicken be ugh. And the more I say that, the more I flip on the TV and see videos of people not cleaning their chicken. And it just made me wonder, do y'all be sick? Because chicken is just so slimy. You know, to each their own, but chicken is very slimy to me, okay? So we just go ahead and get this put in the pan. And hopefully all of these fit because I do have a good bit. When I say a good bit, I think I got like 9. So, yep, we just did make it. So I was gonna have to go get my bigger roasting pan. So we're gonna put the onions that they marinated in on top. I'm not gonna cut up no more onions. Y'all know I love to cut up an onion, but I'm not gonna cut up no more onions. And I'm just gonna kind of pour this marinade on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some more marinade on it real quick. Which is, again, I love Lawry's. Y'all know I love Lawry's seasoning. And so I'm just gonna go ahead in with this. And you can choose whichever teriyaki sauce you like. You can make it by scratch. All you need is soy sauce and honey. That's what I usually do. Make it by scratch with soy sauce, honey, and garlic. But I didn't feel like doing all that today. So I just went ahead and brought a marinade that I know is good. And we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. I got my oven preheated to 350. We're gonna put it in for about an hour and we'll be back. Hey, one thing that I do want to add while I'm waiting on everything to get ready for the next shot, y'all, I make a sink full of bleach water, and that's especially when I'm cooking chicken or any type of raw meat. I keep me a sink full of bleach water, and as I'm between takes, I am wiping everything down because, y'all, I've had recent cases of salmonella and E. coli I've been seeing, you know. So let's not do this. Let's not do this. Make sure you wiping everything down with some warm bleach water, okay? Just an FYI. Okay, guys. So I am back. It has been about an hour and 10 minutes since we put the smoked turkey in and got it going. And now what we're just gonna do is debone it. We're gonna take all the meat off the bone and put back in there. And that way we can go ahead and get our greens in there. And the greens have been washed and they're ready to go. We just got to get all the meat off the bone. And it smells so good. I always tell y'all that it smells so good, but y'all, it smells so good. I'm just going to take all of that meat there, set that bone to the side, and we're going to just debone it, y'all. Let's get it going. All right. See if I can get y'all to see me deboning it. All right, so we got that big boy there. And you can debone it if you want, or you can just let all the meat fall off in the pot. It's strictly up to you. I typically, if it was beans, I would just let all the meat fall off in the pot, but since it is collard greens, I want to go ahead and get all of the meat off the bone and then put back in there. That way the greens can just go on in there and do what it is they do, right? So we're going to get all of that meat, and y'all, this is hot. I feel like I'm fighting with it, but we're going to put it back in there. All that meat back in there, and then I'm going to get the rest of the meat off this bone. It's hot and I'm playing with it with my fingers, so forgive me. I'm getting ready to take the chicken out of the oven. The chicken is done as well, and you know, chicken makes a lot of juice, so I did kind of drain it a couple times so that it gave more of the you taste more of the teriyaki as opposed to the chicken juice, if that makes sense. All right. So we got that. Got all that meat off of there. And let's come on over here to the pot. And I got my greens all washed and ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and drop those in there. And it always looks like a whole lot, but by the time they start cooking down, it's really not. You end up with not much at all. So we just going to get all of that in there and let that cook down, and then we'll start the flavoring. Now with that smoked turkey, this water already has a whole lot of flavor to it. It's just got to cook down and get to that bottom, and once it does that, then I'll go in with the flavor. So we're gonna let these cook for probably about 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and show y'all me actually seasoning them. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get this chicken out of the oven, y'all. Teriyaki chicken is ready. And this is what we're looking like. That's the teriyaki chicken. And I did let it cook for about an hour and a half in the oven. Sorry, y'all, I got the camera moving. So I let it cook for about an hour and a half. And that's what we're looking like. It is done. It is actually kind of falling off the bone over here. And chicken makes so much juice, y'all, because I drained this chicken like 3 times and it still has so much juice going, which is fine. That's fine over there. And let's come on over here to these collards. Come to these collards. Y'all can see in there. We are going to go ahead and get them a stirring. Get some of that meat from the bottom. Bring it up to that top. And this is when we're gonna go in with our seasoning, okay? We're gonna first start with some Maggie's chicken seasoning. And I'm just gonna put about a 1.5 teaspoons of Maggie's chicken seasoning in there. You wanna start out slow and then build your way up, okay? Because that smoked turkey did leave some good flavor in it. And then we're gonna go in with some black pepper. And again, y'all, this is according to how much greens y'all have. I went with like a bag from the grocery store of greens, so it wasn't like I can't tell you I had a bushel or what do you call it, a bunch of greens. I didn't. And so yeah, let's go in with the garlic powder. I actually had the garlic salt in my hand just now and I wasn't trying to have that. So we're going in with some garlic powder. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of Morton season-all. Just a couple of shakes of that. And again, season to your taste, y'all. I could sit here and tell y'all I went this many teaspoons, this many tablespoons, but you're going to have to season to your taste buds. Like, say for people that smoke cigarettes, your taste buds may be different from mine because, you know, you have nicotine and stuff on your tongue. You may be on a special diet where, like Atkins or something, where you have a lot of alcohol, sugars, meat alcohols and stuff in your mouth. It just tastes different. That may sound crazy to y'all, but it's true. You have to season to your liking, season to your taste buds, season to the gods if that's what you have to do. But that's the only way you're gonna know. So we're gonna let this sit and simmer, and then I'm going to check on these in about another 20 minutes. I'm going to check on them. The greens are not going to take that long to cook. They actually don't take that long to cook. And I washed them in vinegar, so that gives them, that takes a lot of the toughness away from the greens. So we're going to go ahead and let these cook for about 20 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I am going to go ahead and make some cornbread. We're going to make the cornbread from Jiffy today. And you just follow the instructions, okay? I don't think I have to sit here and tell y'all how I make the cornbread, but we are gonna make some cornbread. So give me a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back again. I forgot to tell y'all that I put the onions in there too. That's my fault. We're gonna go ahead and get those onions in there and get those stirred up with it. I don't know how I forgot to show y'all that part. Get those onions in there. Get them stirred up. That's going to give it that hint of sweetness as well because it is a sweet onion. And I'm going to go ahead and change the cook on it and take it on medium. And now we're going to get ready to make the cornbread. Okay, guys. So I put my 2 boxes of Jif in there. And it calls for 2 eggs, 1 egg per box. And then I did go in with some buttermilk as opposed to some regular milk. And I do have a stick of butter melting in the oven right now in our cast iron frying pan because that's what we're going to use with the cornbread, our cast iron frying pan. And then I did sprinkle a little bit of honey in this cornbread, so it's going to have a little hint of sweetness to it. I usually put some honey and butter on top, but I did go ahead and put some butter in the actual mix, so it's going to give it that hint of sweetness. You can use some sugar, if you want to, or you can use honey, whichever one you prefer. I did use honey today. And again, I went in with buttermilk as opposed to regular milk. So we're gonna go ahead and see if our cast iron is ready. Not quite. The butter is still melting. So once that butter melts, I'm gonna put it in this mixture, and then we're gonna put it in our cast iron frying pan and in the oven, okay? I'll be back. Okay, y'all. So I tasted the greens. They are really good. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in a little bit of sugar right now, and that's gonna help them tenderize, and it's also gonna cut that bitter taste. Because these are summer greens, they have a little bit of a more tart taste to them. So I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon of sugar, okay? I'm just gonna sprinkle that around. And that should be perfect. But I did taste them, and they were a little tart. They're deliciously seasoned, but they were a little tart. So that's why I went in and put in that sugar, okay? And we're just gonna go ahead and let that cook down. And then I will check these again in about another 10 minutes just to make sure they don't need nothing else, okay? So we got that. The greens are gonna cook for about another 10 minutes. The cornbread is going in the oven, and the chicken is ready. So we'll be out, y'all. I do not have to cook rice because my husband actually made rice the other day. So we have a big container of rice in the refrigerator already cooked. So we're gonna use the rice that we already have, okay? So I'll be back. Okay, y'all. So I'm back. I went ahead and I checked the greens and tasted them. And now they are ready for some butter. And I put in about 2 tablespoons of butter because butter makes everything better. I put butter in my collard greens and my beans, my peas. It does not matter. Butter makes everything better. So I just put in about 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna go ahead again and let these cook for about another 10 minutes. And then we will check to see what they need, okay? Now, I got my cast iron here ready. Poured the butter on over into the mixture for our cornbread, and we're gonna go ahead and get that stirred in and get this in the oven. So we will be back when the cornbread is ready. Okay guys, we are going to check the greens, the collard greens. I'm just gonna stir them around a little bit, show y'all what they're looking like. See that? All the meat up in there. They smell so good. So let's taste it. Make sure we get some of that pot liquor in there too. Make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. Y'all, these are so hot, but they smell so good. Those are good. That is good. I'm just gonna put a little bit of Maggie's chicken seasoning in there. A little bit of that. Get that stirred up in there. Yep. Get that stirred. We're gonna let these go for about another 30 minutes, and they should be done. About 30 minutes. So we'll be back when the greens are done. Okay guys, so the collard greens are done. They actually ended up cooking for about 2 hours. And these are summer greens, so summer greens are always a little tougher. When you get winter greens and it has that nice cold frost on them, they are a lot more tender when you first start to cook them. So these ended up cooking. I did cook them on low for the last hour. So the first hour I had it on medium high, and then the second hour I just let them cook on low. And I'm gonna let them stay in the pot, and they'll finish cooking by itself for about another 20-30 minutes, just because I'm leaving them on the stove. And they're so delicious, y'all. And we have the cornbread here. We have the teriyaki chicken, and the rice is actually already in the refrigerator because like I said, we did have some leftover white rice, and that is going to be our meal for today. Nothing too big, just some teriyaki chicken. My daughter told me she wanted some different type of chicken, and I didn't film the other day when I actually made a corned beef brisket. So I alternate beef and chicken. So a couple of days ago we had a corned beef brisket, and today we're having some teriyaki baked chicken, some collard greens, cornbread, white rice, and not in that order, but y'all know where I'm going at. So thank you guys for coming along with me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. And just a quick rundown for my collard greens. I did use smoked turkey. I put some Maggie's chicken seasoning in there, some black pepper, some garlic powder, and some Morton seasonal. I did not need to put any salt in there, but I did put some sugar in there just to kind of give it get rid of that bitter taste, because again, these are summer collard greens, which are a lot more bitter and a lot tougher. So the sugar not only tenderized it, but it also helped get rid of that bitter taste. I put 2 tablespoons of butter, which I put butter in everything, y'all. Butter just makes everything so much better. And I did put a capful of red vinegar, or apple cider vinegar rather, in this. It always makes the greens taste so much better. But these greens are so good. And we are done. And I thank you guys for coming along with me today. Hope I didn't keep you too long. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's get ready for work on Monday. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.